Hi friends, this is Mangla Prathaban Muralidharan talking from India. Today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of microplanning in our lesson plans. Like how do we do microplanning when it comes to our lesson planning sessions? Number one, every lesson has to have micro stages, right? So you need to work on each of those micro areas with a specific attention in terms of learning strategies, learner learning time, and most importantly, the kind of examples that you're going to provide to customize the learning process. In other words, learning has to be personalized. How do we really personalize the learning process? That is, in fact, in the hands of the teacher, because the teacher has to understand the learning profile of the learner, learning interest of the learner, and also the learning solutions that the learners enjoy using it every now and then. Apart from all this, learners also have the so-called expertise to keep trying new ways of learning. So new means of learning, new methods of learning, new ways of learning are very important for a learner to discover on her own, right? So for that, particular way of creating learner enthusiasm to discover new means of learning, teacher has to motivate the learners, has to really keep in mind what tools can be given so the learners could try out new strategies, new methods. For that, I think microplanning is extremely important. And remember, group learning could be encouraged. One thing that I would often talk about right now is that group learning is missing, especially in classrooms. Mostly it's all to do with independent learning. Of course, it's very important to do independent learning at a higher level, but at the lower level, when you are talking about children who are from, say, grade 1 to grade 5 or grade 1 to grade 6, it's our duty to encourage, to make them work together, to make them understand or comprehend how to really learn from the others, how to value the learning inputs of the fellow learners. And they should respect fellow learners. And there shouldn't be any kind of an ill will towards a fellow learner. Learning has to be an enjoyable process, a pleasant process, rather than a process wherein only marks are being taken into account. This is something that we have to really very seriously work on in our society, because only marks are being taken into account and we celebrate those who score high marks. We don't really look at the dynamics of the learning process, the exposure of the learner, the ability of the learner to excel in other learning methodologies that he or she is using. So that I think we need to really think about. We'll have to really create an overall learning map. And we need to assess the learning strategies used by the learner in all the other domains apart from just the curriculum or the academic curriculum. So that is going to really change the way we do micro planning in our curriculum and in our lesson planning. I would say all of us who have been training and teaching the students will possibly understand micro planning is also is being always connected with micro learning, right? Micro learning is task specific, task oriented, at the same time learner oriented and textbook oriented, and most importantly also teacher oriented. And it's not just teacher directed. Teacher facilitates this process, but at the same time teacher has to really keep in mind the kind of learning that learners are capable of doing, and to try out now and then new strategies of learning, new tasks in learning something new. For example, whenever I talk about teaching phrasal verbs, I do teach them Australian phrasal verbs, American phrasal verbs, Canadian phrasal verbs, New Zealandian phrasal verbs, and the British phrasal verbs. Then I distinguish the colloquial usage from the formal usage. And the so-called informal and formal usages ought to be taught very carefully, because they should not use formal colloquial formal usage with, in an informal setup, or they shouldn't use informal language in a formal setup. So context specific learning is very important. Okay, so you need to really work on context specific learning procedures, and we need to give them umpteen number of contexts. For example, I try to use several informal contexts from the voanews.com, where I ask students to watch 2 minutes clips given by VOA to talk about informal, phraseology, informal idioms, colloquial idioms used. So I would say audio visual inputs on informal language learning could be thought about, and that we can simplify it. Maybe you can use BBC 6-minute learning English, or BBC learning English 6-minute grammar, etc. These are some of the best materials available that we can make use of, right? I hope this particular session was highly useful to you. In case you need further inputs, please feel free to talk to me. I'm there to support you. All my teacher support programs online will be freely accessible for anybody, anywhere, in the planet. So you can talk to me. I'm there to do the best for you. Wish you all success. Have a great time. Enjoy your time. Bye-bye. See you.